Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that we received, and the translation reads like this. My name is Lerato, not a real name, and I am 34 years old. My brother, I am living here in South Africa. On the outside, I appear like any other woman. I do balance my work, relationships, and life's daily struggles. You can just think that maybe I am just another normal woman who loves church, going to church. Yes, I do go to church a lot, but there is a darkness in my life that very few know about because of the things that I inherited from my own grandmother, things that I cannot escape, a secret that I carry with me almost on a daily basis. As for my grandmother, she was a well-known traditional healer in our village, a woman who used to even strengthen other sangomas. If you can just imagine that you are a sangoma, yet there are people that do come to you because their powers, they feel as if their powers are fading away, and they respect you so much, knowing that you are the only one who can bring back those powers to them. My grandmother used to possess those powers, and she did not care as long as you had money. I still remember that there was this other man who was working in the government. The man came complaining that there was something that was happening at work, and this man wanted my grandmother to give him some charms so that at work people can learn to respect him, and if it ever happens that there are people that are going to be retrenched, then the man was not going to be retrenched. So my grandmother then gave him the charms. He returned back and he said that he wanted one of the men that he was sharing an office with to die. And indeed, I saw my grandmother performing some rituals, slaughtering a chicken, saying that the way that she was slaughtering the chicken, that was the way that the man was going to die. And indeed, this man, he was stabbed to death by his girlfriend. My grandmother had this other black cat that has even a name. So we grew up knowing that my grandmother was a witch doctor. Sometimes we would wake up and we would look outside and we'll see that my grandmother would be riding this very giant animal that is very hard to describe, and she will be totally naked. And we knew that this was what my grandmother was all about. She would even encourage us at school, if there was any teacher that would want to perform corporate punishment, because we grew up in that generation where corporate punishment was a big issue. And whenever you would come back to report to her saying that this teacher has beaten me up or has given me this punishment, and then my grandmother will cast some spells on that teacher, either the teacher will get so sick or would even do something that will make the teacher to lose the job. There was even one teacher that I hated so much. It was love, and that love turned into hatred because I was in love with him and he chose to date this other girl, an ugly girl according to my standards, who was in the same class with me. And then when I saw them kissing one day, I was heartbroken, and then I reported the issue to my grandmother. You can imagine that if she was someone who was decent, she would have beaten me up for telling her that I was in love with one of the teachers that was teaching us at school. But instead, she promised to help me to hurt this man. This man was then caught with his pants down, and he got arrested for sleeping with a minor. I was so happy when this man was arrested. When he was taken away, I celebrated with my own grandmother. That is how cruel my grandmother was, and made me to be cruel as well. When my grandmother passed away, I was really angry, devastated, and I blamed God for taking her away, even though she died in old age. She was my rock. She was my everything. My grandmother left her house in my name, and I am so grateful for that. But my grandmother left something for me. So that cat that I told you about, that has a name. This cat, it is not just like your normal household cat. This is a spiritual cat. My grandmother told me that she was given this cat by her own mother, making this cat to be the oldest cat here in South Africa, in our country. I don't even know how old the cat is. So what it does is that this cat, it can appear, sometimes it can just be invisible. It is only I that can see this cat. The way that I got married to my own boss. When I was in university, the time that we went on our attachments, then I used this cat to make my boss to fall in love with me, and I ended up working for him permanently. And to tell you the truth, I disabled his wife so that we can continue dating. The woman was bedridden for years and years until the man went back to the relatives and said that I cannot do this anymore. I am a man. I need my woman to be okay. Then they took their relative, and that was the perfect time. I struck her so hard, and I went with my cat late at night, and then that cat started sucking on her blood, even though she was really thin, and she passed away the next morning. And I celebrated because now I knew that the man was going to be mine for good, and my husband does not even know that I am the one. The woman that he claims to love is the one who murdered his own wife using that cat. So, Brother Nashi, there are things that I do in my community, people that do not even know about. Like I really hate whenever someone tries to do like a renovation at their house. There was this other woman, she stays in the same street. So at that time, I did not know that she had taken a loan out and she was busy installing some solar panels on her home. This woman, I made her to be so sick, so much that she lost a lot of money, and the money that she was losing going to the doctors, and it was coming to me, and I bought a car. This woman, she was attacked by a cat, my cat, one day when she was driving from work. It was somewhere around 7 p.m. So her gate was stuck. I was the one who had even bewitched her gate so much that it could not work on remote control. When she got out of the vehicle to investigate, that was when the cat just jumped out of nowhere, that same black cat that I own, and it then just scratched her and it ran away. And she just thought that maybe it was just a cat, since we have a lot of white people that are staying at the same suburb where I am staying. So, white people and cats, they love cats. This woman then got so sick, she got so sick and she lost a lot of money. She could not go ahead with that project of having solar panels on her home. And I was happy. I did the same thing to this other woman who had been approved of a vehicle. She went and she got that vehicle. I think that this vehicle, she only had it for about a month and she got retrenched. And I was so happy when she could not pay the installments on that car. That is what I have been doing. And my husband does not even know that he got married to a witch. What can we do? We are all born and we are given different gifts. There are those that are given the gifts of being pastors, but not me. I was given this gift of witchcraft, and I have learned to embrace this gift. Yeah, dear listeners, right, there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admin who helped us with this translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.